Hi everyone, it's MLP Love 55 here, and today we're going to read the next chapter of Sleepovers by Jacqueline Wilson. Okay, so previously in the last chapter, chapter 10, which we filmed a few days ago, we learned that Daisy's allowed to have a sleepover, but her mum's making her invite Chloe too. Now it's time. See, they're preparing for the party. 11. Mum and Dad sang happy birthday to me on Saturday morning. Lily sang too, screeching louder and louder. She's getting overexcited again, Mum, I said. Never mind, said Mum. We're all overexcited because it's your birthday, Daisy, said Dad. I had a special birthday breakfast of croissants and cherry jam and hot chocolate. Yummy, yummy. Do you think we can have more hot chocolate later on for my party? I said. I think Bella would like it a lot. Yes, of course, said Mum. But Emily doesn't like chocolate anymore, I worried. We'll find something else for Emily, something special, because Emily's my almost best friend, I said. What shall we serve Chloe, said Dad, winking. A mug of greasy lukewarm washing up water. I fell about laughing. Mum frowned, but she couldn't stop herself giggling too. After breakfast, Mum got Lily ready, and then Dad took her for a long walk in a wheelchair while Mum and I cleared up, and then made my birthday cake together. Mum let me stir the mixture and spoon it out into the cake tin. She let me scrape the mixing bowl with the spoon, and then my finger, and then my tongue. We made white chocolate crunch biscuits while the cake was cooling, and then we did the decorating. Mum got a very sharp knife and started cutting the cake. Mum, I cut the cake. It's my birthday. What are you doing? The cake isn't even finished yet. I know, I am finishing it. I'm turning it into a special cake, said Mum. Watch. I watched. Mum cut delicate little wedges out of the cake every so often. She was turning the cake into a particular shape. Then I suddenly realised. It's a daisy. Oh, Mum, how brilliant. Mum defined each petal perfectly. Then we mixed up some bright white icing and carefully covered it all over. It looks lovely, I said, putting a little smear of icing on one of the cut-off wedges. Yum, it tastes lovely too. It's not quite finished yet, said Mum. She coloured the leftover icing yellow and spread that in a neat circle in the middle so that the cake looked just like a real daisy. When it was all dry, she iced Happy Birthday Daisy in pink on top. It looked so beautiful, especially when Mum slid the cake onto our best green plate. All round the edges she put little daisy hair slides. I counted. 24, enough for everyone to have 4, and Emily and I can have 6. No, 4 each, said Mum. Emily, me, Bella, Amy and Chloe, yuck. 5 times 4 is 20. There are 6 of you, silly. What about Lily? Said Mum. But Lily isn't part of the sleepover party, I said. Of course she is. She's your sister. Lily can't do her own hair, so she doesn't need hair slides. You could do a hair for her, and I'm sure she'd love a daisy hair slide, said Mum. Oh, there's Lily and Dad back now. Did you have a lovely walk, Lily? What's all that silly noise for? Lily wailed. I took her around the shopping centre. I thought she'd like those giant teddies. Big mistake, said Dad, mopping his brow. Oh, yes, she's scared of them, said Mum, sighing. Well, you could have told me, said Dad. Lily's been scared of them for ages, I said. Oh, Dad, you know she doesn't even like my teddy Midnight. Come on, Lily, let's mop those weepy eyes and wipe that poor nose, said Mum. And stop that noise, please. Lily mumbled, sniffling. Mum started to carry Lily upstairs. Oh dear, she needs changing too. Look, you two had better get started on Daisy's bedroom. Though how all 4 girls are going to squash in there, I just don't know. Lots of girls use the living room for sleepovers, I suggested. There's even less space in our living room, said Dad. What with Lily's special chair and her rug and all her other stuff. Then he looked out the window. I know, said Dad. Daisy, how about having a sleepover in the garden? We could get the tent out the loft. Oh, Dad, magic, I said. We went racing up the stairs past Mum and Lily so that Dad could climb up in the loft. We bought all the camping stuff last year for summer holiday. We can't usually stay in a hotel because it's so difficult with Lily. It was difficult camping with her too. She cried most of the night and the next, even though I got in a sleeping bag with her. She didn't like it because it was difficult. The 3rd night Lily cried and Mum cried too. Dad didn't cry, but he said, "This is ridiculous," and we packed up the tent and drove home in the middle of the night. I knew that 10 would come in useful eventually, Dad said now, and he unpacked it and took it out into the garden. It's going to be so cool, I said. Too cool, literally, said Mum. It'll be freezing cold in the middle of the night. The girls can all wrap up really warmly. They'll have a whale of a time, said Dad. But Lily won't be able to join in any of the fun. You know what she's like in that tent, said Mum. You don't have to remind me, said Dad. I didn't say anything. I couldn't help feeling very glad indeed that Lily won't be able to join in. Right, in the next chapter, we'll learn that Amy and Emily and Bella and Chloe arrive. Bye!